Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome to my website. My name is Daryl and this is Programming in Any Language. The website is www.black-duck.com. It's where you'll find all my videos organized in logical order. According to our hierarchy chart, the Add button takes data from the text boxes and possibly stores them in the arrays. I say possibly because we have to let the user change his or her mind once they press Add. So the Add button will take us to a screen where we can cancel the operation or actually process the data as it is entered. It also says we'll sort the array. Well, the data does have to be sorted, but perhaps not here. Having the data in alphabetical order is more likely needed in the search function and not Add. So we'll probably change our design. And that's what we made the design for, so we can change it. Sorting needs to be done, but in a different area. Let's watch and see how we can let the user decide to update or cancel what they're actually doing. Okay, it's time to program the Add button. Beginning of the first function we're going to actually do here. As you can see on the password keeper hierarchy chart, we're going to be dealing with this section right over here, the Add. We're possibly flipping buttons or figuring out how we're going to do this, setting the focus, the text box, canceling the operation, and also including a continue operation where I'd actually add the record to a list, then the flip buttons piece on here. So let's kind of take a look at all that. How does this all work? Well, we're going to start out with the password keeper coming up and only the Add button showing, add the exit button showing, so that when we actually start this program up and there are no records in the file, all we can do is add. So we want to set that up and make that go. Once that's done, we can go into our Add routine and actually open up this area right here where we can put in some text elements in our text boxes here, and then make that choice of either posting the record or exiting the Add itself. So we won't complete it. This is basically cancels what exit Add is, and post record is going ahead and adding it. As a matter of fact, if we look at the edit and add here, we really can't delete anything or edit anything. We can't see it. So the better way to go about this would be to just leave the search and add buttons on when we have records in the system. The only time we want to do an edit or delete them would be when we actually have access to record and want to make a change or delete that record. So how do we start this? Let's go to make our Add button pop up first, our Add screen, so we can see it. We'll simply send this to the back, send the edit to the back. There's our Add button right here. So this is the guy we want to actually see. So we come into the system. What's happening right now? If we start the system up, it comes up and there are no records. You're starting a new file. Hit enter on here and up. This is fine except for these buttons here. We want to set it up so that search, delete, and edit are all off. And then we can go forward on this. So let's close this off and get into that code and actually go in and code the Add button. So we'll click on the Add button. And what we want to do here is basically set our gbx add dot visible equals true. So we're turning on Add screen. Next thing you want to do is txt record name add dot focus. When I put the user and position them at that first text box, so they would actually be entering something. Position user to first text box. Text record name add. Why is this thing showing up as an error? Oh, or double parentheses that need to be in there. It's easy to forget those little things. Button add dot enabled was going to be equal to false. Because once we open up that screen, we don't want to hit it anymore. So disable the Add button. And btn search enable is also going to be equal to false. So we don't want to be able to use that button at all. Disable search button. So that's going to turn on our screen. Now let's see if this is working the way we want it to. We'll do a file save. And do a run. No records are found. Comes up. It's fine. This is here, but I can't get. But these things should also be off here. So I want to make these buttons invisible. Search, delete, and add. In fact, that should be their default as we come into this. Also, let's see what happens when we get into the ad. It does bring up our button. It does position us there where we actually want to be. So that part's working fine. So let's go in there and delete. Let's make the search and the edit and the delete invisible. We'll go into our properties by jumping into this guy. The search guy, when he comes up initially, is going to be invisible false. The delete button is going to be invisible. And the edit button is going to be invisible. Rest can stay. This should be the way we want it now. Perfect. All we can do is add. We'll do our add, and we're set in here. So that means all we need to do now is type something into these things and then create the functionality to either post or exit the ad when we come into here. So which way do we go first? Probably easiest to do the exit ad first. So let's see what happens when we do that. If we click on the exit ad button, we'll create an event. Since we're exiting the function we just tried to do, we want to clear off those text boxes. So we'll take those 3 text boxes, record name add.text, and make that equal to quote, quote, and out. Let's actually give us a comment, clear text boxes. I do like the comment. Believe me, when you get into a program and then work with it for weeks and weeks and then leave it alone and come back to it months later, it looks very, very foreign. So the the login will be there, and so will the text password be. Add will be .text will be equal to quote, quote. That wipes those 3 out. We also want to then set up gbx add visible to false. So gbx. So we're going to turn off the visibility of that screen. And then we want to use something. We'll take a look at the max thing. So we're going to say if max is greater than 0, we want button search enabled to be true. Search, exit, and add are enabled if there are records. That means btn add also will have to be in here. Btn add dot enabled is equal to true. I can't see here. There it is, true. And hit a semicolon there. That's fine. Now we're going to drop down here and say else. And in this case, btn add enabled is equal to true. Only add and exit are enabled. If there are no records. btn exit dot enabled is equal to true. And we don't need to put a comment in here. We do need to put our exit in here. btn exit add exit. There's our enable button. So that puts that in that place. So let's try this. Do a file save. There isn't a lot of coding for this particular function, as you can see. We'll do a start on here. Starts out with no records. We come into this. We can do an add. We can pop in our add. We'll do our stuff. Put our stuff in here. And now we want to be able to exit that. We don't want to do this. Notice add is not enabled, so we can't do anything. We could hit an exit button. We could get out if we wanted to. We actually would do nothing. Hit the exit add. Comes up and puts those things in place. So that looks good at that point in time. So we're fine here. But now let's take a look and what happens if we actually do post a record. What do we have to do for that? Well, in order to post a record, we need to create we need to create a function for this button right here. What do we do with it? Well, we go into it, and right away we say str record name max. We want to use the latest number, and it's a 0 when there's nothing in here. Otherwise, it might be something else. So it's going to be the next number involved. It's going to be equal to text record name.add.text. So we move text boxes to array. str login ID max is equal to logon ID.text. We don't need anything else. Str password. Password max is equal to text for password. And that looks good too. Great. We need to increase max. Max is equal to max plus 1 because we actually added something to the record, so it's gotten bigger. So we're going to increment max. We're then going to say LBR record count. Our record count is going to be increased. It's going to be equal to max to string. And since it's an integer, we really don't need to do anything with it. We'll post a new count up there. And we're going to clear everything. TextTX record name dot add dot text is equal to quote quote clear text boxes. txt logon ID add dot text is equal to quote txt password dot add text is equal to quote quote, and we'll set the focus. txt record name dot add dot focus position user to first text box. That's all we need to do. So basically what we're doing here is we're grabbing the pieces that were actually put in, we accepted them, increasing the count, and then clearing it, setting the user up for the next text box. Let's do a file save on this and see what we look like here. Do a run. We have no records coming in. We'll do an add. We know we can get out because we tested that already, but let's go ahead and type one in. Let's say Amazon. And let's say, oops, our tabs are gone here. That's kind of, let's exit out. And let's change this little problem here because we want to be able to tab properly in here. So that's going to be important. What's our tab key here? If we look at the tab index is 21. This one is, let's put a marker down here. This one is 23, 22. We want to make this thing 22. And we want to make this one 23. So they flow nicely and you can actually use it. The next thing we want to do is we want to post. So this would likely be 24, and it is. Exit is 25, and the rest are fine. So we're going to be in good shape there. So let's do another save on this. File save all. Test, test, test. You got to keep testing. And it'll point out those subtle errors that you might have there. Again, we start out fresh. We're going to start out with a new ad. We're going to put in Amazon. I'm going to use the tab key, which bounces me down here. I'm going to say buyer 1 is my login ID, and my password is Amazon123, and I'll post the record. And notice that the record number is increased to 1. I can easily add another one. We can go to let's go to Target, and the login ID will be buyer. Let's use the same login ID for this one and call this Target 123. Not a good password, but it's a password we're saying we're using, so we'll use that. Use our tab, post a record, and we're fine. That gives us 2. We now can exit the ad. I think I want my exit button to be unenabled when I go into this. Hit exit ad, come out of here, and then hit exit, which should write the file. We don't see that happen, but let's go ahead and take a look and find where that thing is and see if that actually worked. So if I go into my sandbox, which I've got right over here, and go into my demo 1 folder, and into my bin, and into my debug folder, notice we have a mypasswords.txt. It actually created a file now. And we can actually log in. We can go ahead and click on it to get our text, our notepad to come up. Came up on another screen, so I'll bring it down here. Ooh, it didn't write anything. It did not write anything, so we have a problem there. Okay, interesting. It created the file but did not write anything on our exit. Why didn't it write anything? We need to find out why. If max is greater than 0, it should do all this and actually write the record. Let's go ahead and put a breakpoint in here. And run this process again and see what it's actually doing. Do our add. We have no records. Amazon. Buyer 1. Amazon 123. Post the record. Target. Buyer 1. Target 123. Post the record. exit the add, and then go into exit. It stops here, but let's see, what is max? We'll add this to our watch. Max is 2. So if max is greater than 0, it should go down here and do this. So let's see if it's actually doing it then. We'll do an F11. It builds this, goes in and creates our file. So we knew it did this. But then for writing the records, it's going to go from int 0 to max. Oh, what's going on here? We have an IO exception. It's probably because it's not closed. Can I access the file user program because it's not closed? Yeah, it's not closed. Okay, a mistake on my part. So we need to go back and actually fix this little piece here. If we look at our exit button, we did our catch, which is fine. But above this thing where we do our try and do our output file and create, we do our for. Once we do this loop, we never end the loop. So we need to do here, and we're writing on the record out. That's perfectly fine. But what we need to do out of here is we need to go output file, close. That's an important lesson, I guess, to learn right here too. Is missing that little piece right here. We never closed our file, so consequently, it remained open. So when I tried to write this, we actually got a system error, which actually crashed on us. I'm kind of wondering why we didn't get the error message to show up. Or maybe I didn't read it right. So let's go ahead and break this thing. Now let's just take the breakpoint out first. We don't need it anymore because I think we're going to be fine here. Let's go ahead and stop debugging. Do a file save. Do a run from scratch. We'll do our add again. Wire 1. Put our password in. Post our record. Wire 1 again. Target 1, 2, 3 for our password. Pass it. Go out. Exit out of here, and then exit. The process cannot access the box bin my password because it is currently being used by another process. For some reason, it's open yet, and we need to actually close that thing up. Oh, another reason was we never did get rid of the file. The file was there. That's right. Now I'm thinking about it. I need to get rid of this file completely because there's nothing in it anyway, so we're going to just blow it away. That gets rid of the file. It's gone. Moving this thing up to another screen, and we're going to go in here and we're going to do our save all. We're going to run our program again. There are no records. You're starting a new file. That's what we want to see. Do our add. Post the record. Target. Wire 1. Post the record. Exit our add. Exit this. Let's see what it did. We go back. Our file has been created. Let's see if there's anything in it. There is. Bringing our tab limited file is now in there. Our Amazon, our bar 1, and Amazon 123 is sitting in there. Target, bar 1. So our records are now working. So this piece is there. The only thing I want to look at, basically, is I'm not happy with, which will come up a second time now. This time we won't go into we'll actually open the records. It'll be out there already. So our search could work if we start programming that. But I don't like this. Well, the exit, you do want to add here. You do want to be able to exit here at this point in time if you come into this. However, I hit add, I think I want to turn off this exit button. So let's do that. And let's disable the exit button here when we hit the add button. So we'll go into there. Look at our form. We're hitting the add button. Where's that code? It's right here. Yeah, let's disable the exit button. btn exit dot enable is false. Disable exit button. And let's make sure we turn it on. We hit either the update, save all, run. Looks good. We have 2 records in there. We want to do an add. Exit, I can't get out, but if I hit exit, it turns on and I can get out. Okay, let's hit add again. What if I post a new record? Let's say Toyota. And customer. And Toyota XXX exclamation point, and post that record. That looks good. Posting doesn't change anything there, so we'd have to actually exit add. We can, and we can go out here and exit this out. Whoops. It's being used by another. We're not stopping this again. I wonder if I'm closing it off when I do the read. Let's find out. Let's look at our load, our form load. That's right here. Looks like I made that same mistake right over here. Let's go ahead and double check on this. Yeah, I'm doing my max is equal to x here. This is all fine here, but here's my loop again, and I'm not closing off this input file after I'm done with it, and that needs to be put in here as well. So in both cases, when I did this, I bypassed that process right here of closing the file, which is a rookie error. You want to open, process, close, open, process, close all the time. That'll fix that piece now. Save all. Do another run. Still have 2 records in there. We want to add. We'll add Toyota. We'll add customer 1. And then Toyota XXX exclamation point. Post the record. Great. Exit the add and exit out. It now writes the record successfully, and we'll double check that. It's now working fine. Notice the tabs here that you've got in this thing. These things are the same characters. This is the bigger character, so it pushes out that tab a little bit further on as we go out there. But everything is there. This could be read into a spreadsheet file if you needed to. So this is working. That's good to see. So that's our add button. It now works, and we can go ahead and start thinking about probably searching next. Is what we'll do next. But looks like it's working fine. Little rough bumps in there, but it's working fine. Those were rookie mistakes. The file close wasn't coded for the form load file to read, and it wasn't coded for the button exit save routine. Initially, it didn't cause a problem for the read because the file didn't exist, and we didn't look at it. It wouldn't until we went into the first save procedure. After that, the program would try to open the file every time we started it. Open, do stuff, close. That's what we got to think of. Open, do stuff, close. Always close that file. All 3 pieces need to be in place for file processing. But that's how coding works. There's a lot of moving parts. Mistakes are bound to happen. You'll make them, I'll keep making them. As long as you know how you are supposed to code, the debugger helps you find what you forgot. And it certainly helped us in this case. Then you just fix it. This also goes to show that it's important to test after each piece of functionality is put into the program. Don't wait till the end. Do it as you're moving along. It's a lot easier to deal with errors as you make them than to code this whole John program before you do any testing. It's just a mess going back into code that was never tested. It drives programmers a drink. You'll also note that we didn't code any sorting procedure. As you create the add routine, there's really no reason to sort the records. We're not using them just yet. That becomes more important when we need to search for them. Then we need them in some kind of an order. And that's the focus for the next video. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to use the website for easy access to all my videos. And if you get a chance, please subscribe. That way, you'll be notified when anything new is available. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.